Ghostbusters, a 1984 sci-fi comedy film about three New York City scientists and their hunt for the paranormal. But did you know that this movie is more than just a visual representation of ghosts and gigantic marshmallows roaming through New York City? There are three subjects that define this film, and it has nothing to do with the paranormal. What is the Ghostbusters movie really about? Follow me as I will guide you to this journey. Let me welcome you to the SciPunk feed. Inequality, immigrants, and pollution. The ghosts in the film have been interpreted as analogs for crime, homelessness, pollution, and unsteady infrastructure. Christine Alice Korkos discussed Ghostbusters' negative take on government and environmental regulation. She wrote that the ghosts represent pollutants, remnants of environmental damage, and a reflection of real-life governments refusing to acknowledge environmental problems that affect humanity. The Environmental Protection Agency does not believe in the ghost or waste the Ghostbusters are collecting, and in turn, the Ghostbusters do not believe the EPA deserves obedience or compliance because of its ignorance. Even though the Ghostbusters have condensed a widespread problem into a small area, they have constructed a dangerous contaminant unit in a heavily populated area while possessing the unique knowledge to understand how much danger it possesses. However, Peck's rigid adherence to government regulations results in him turning off the unit and creating a more dangerous situation. Ralph Clare identified the ghost as representative of New York's issues with the homeless and ethnic minorities. The ghosts, which were once human, are not acknowledged as such and are treated as a nuisance that the Ghostbusters transport to fewer desirable areas. Similar to real-world gentrification, the Ghostbusters charge a substantial fee for their services and so generally serve the affluent, such as the Sedgwick Hotel and Dana Barrett, while poor Chinese citizens pay for their services in meat. In this way, Claire argues, Ghostbusters promotes the regeneration of New York City but ignores the cost to the poor and the disenfranchised to achieve it. In Maturity, author Nicole Matthews argued the need to present a film targeted at both adults and children leads to the central characters being infantilized and immature. The film presents Venkman's immature comedic sarcasm as a means of disarming situations and furthering the narrative. The primarily male audience also results in female characters that are either absent or not important to the overall story. Author Jane Crisp wrote that Dana encountering Soul in her fridge presents a stereotypical view of women being associated with the home and the kitchen, capitalism, and the private industry. Ghostbusters has been analyzed as promoting Reagan's political policies, espousing limited regulation and pro-business agenda. As described by academic Christine Alice Korkos, Ghostbusters is a satire on academia, intellectuals, city government, yuppies, tax professionals, and apathic New Yorkers. The film has also been analyzed as an era-appropriate example of Republican, libertarian, and neoliberal ideology, in particular, Reagan-era economics popularized by the United States President Ronald Reagan. Reaganomics focused on limited government spending and regulation in favor of a free market provided by the private sector, in this case, Walter Peck. Peck's interference compromises the Ghostbusters' ghost contaminant unit, unleashing spirits upon the city and ushering in Goldster's arrival. When Peck arrives to shutter the Ghostbusters, Egon affirms, "This is private property." In this sense, it is Peck, not Goldster, who represents the film's true villain. The Washington Examiner wrote that the private sector arrives to combat supernatural activity in New York, while the government is incapable of doing anything. As Vox notes, the Major, a government representative, is motivated to release the Ghostbusters after being reminded that their success will save the lives of millions of registered voters, a cynical view of an official who is motivated by what allows him to retain his position. The Major's choice is ideological: the privatized free market of the Ghostbusters or the government agency Peck represents. Author Ralph Clare highlights that the Ghostbusters reside in a disused firehouse and drive an old ambulance, each sold off as public services fail. Korkos suggests that the Ghostbusters are an example of the American freethinker, representing vigilantes fighting against the government overreach that is worsening the issue. The use of capitalism can be further seen in how, when one example, Ray, Once tasked to empty his mind, is incapable of recalling anything but a consumerist mascot. Or in another example, Dana's refrigerator, which stores consumerist icons, is where she witnesses Sewell. What do you like about the Ghostbusters? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This was your host. Welcome to the Cypunk feed.